All right, all right. What is up, everybody? Oh my God, so good to see these faces. Thank you so much, Amber, for your support here today. Amber, also, if you'd be able to accept more people that are joining as they come in, that would be amazing. Amber's here as my executive assistant supporting us live. Thank you so much as everybody joins in. What's up, Tudor? Great to see you. I'm dragging, by the way, since we've got a presentation going and screens, you can actually take that divider and drag it over to the left and be able to see more people. If you guys didn't already know that trick. Tudor, so great to see you. Steven, what's up, man? Love the top down. Hope you're you got the hands-free thing going on. Look at that guy. I want to be in that car with you. Ty, so great to see you, man. Oh my God, it's been so long. Coulter, great to see you as always. Mark is our guide. Great to see you, Mark. So thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited for everybody to meet you today.
Good to see you.
We're going to get started very shortly. What's up, CJ? Did I just see a unicorn behind you? What was that? I feel like I saw a unicorn. Are you guys able to hear me okay? Because it still says my AirPods are like reconnecting. Okay. All right. Let me know if there's any issues. Well, I'm so excited for this. What's up, Cambria? I'm sure we'll see you in a moment. So as we get started, we've got only 60 minutes together. Again, this is where I'm going to be revealing the details about our deep work retreat, which is coming up in 6 weeks. Some of you are attending, some of you are thinking of attending. And before we get started, as we wait for everybody, we're just going to do a quick warm up. So, Amber, if you'd like to go to the next page here. A lot of us don't know each other. And so I would love to know in the chat, please share. We already know your name. Your name's going to show up, so you don't have to introduce yourself, but it'll be who you are, maybe what you do for work, and what's your favorite place that you've ever visited. Please put that in the chat. What's up, Michael? So great to have you. And that'll be our little warm-up exercise as we wait for everybody to settle in and join. A little bit about yourself. What do you do for work? And what is your favorite place you have ever visited?
Am I the started?
What'd you say, Michael?
Oh, who are you asking to start?
Oh, we're gonna do it all in the chat. You're mobile, so maybe the chat is hidden, but yeah, maybe you could do yours verbally since we already got you here. What's up, Michael?
Okay. What's up? I'm Michael, and for a little bit about me, kind of creative, visual content producer. That's what I do for work. That's what I do for fun. And favorite place so far was probably the bottom of the ocean in the Cayman Islands.
Wow. The bottom of the ocean in the Cayman Islands. That sounds like something that is kind of a private, intimate experience.
It was really
people down there.
It was really cool.
That's amazing. Awesome. So Michael can teach us all to hold our breath for a long time, it sounds like.
No, that's the first rule in diving. First rule in diving is never hold your breath.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Good point. Awesome. Well, thank you, Michael. So everyone else, I know you're mobile, and I think Stephen was too, so you might not be seeing the chats. But for everyone else, CJ says hi. Coulter, what's up? Steven says he's a brand marketing consultant and photo studio owner. And the favorite trip he's ever been to is Cape Town, South Africa. I would love to go to Cape Town, South Africa. I've got friends that are getting married at some point, and I'm really hoping to get invited so that I can go down there. Ty, what's up, Ty? He's a screenwriter, and his favorite spot is either a toss-up between Tokyo and Nairobi. He loves them both for very different reasons. That they sound very different. Very like cityscape, very desert vibes, it sounds like. And this is Tudor. Tudor, I'm so excited for Tudor to be here. Tudor is our videographer for the trip. He's an amazing musician himself, and he's been a part of the Brick community for years. He actually, if you've seen any of our instant choir videos where we would get like 100 strangers in a room and become a live choir with a live band and sing an 80s song, Tudor was there for that, and he would shoot those amazing videos. So it's really nice to finally have Tudor coming with us on a Brick retreat. We've never had him before, and I'm really, really excited to be able to spend that week with you and see your incredible drone magic and expertise come to life. So
yes, sir.
Tudor, yeah, man. Tudor said that his favorite place was Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. I hear that's beautiful. Is that where Banff is?
No, I believe Banff is further west, but I spent a few summers there working at a Indigenous arts camp, and it was just some of the best times of my life, working on art with friends and teaching kids and stuff. So even though I've been to other beautiful places in the world, that one has the most meaning for me.
Wow, that's amazing. I love the service aspect of that as well, in a beautiful place. Mark here, as we just said briefly, he is our guide for the trip. And I don't know if his assistant Bea is going to be joining, but I'm so excited, Mark, that you get to join us and we get to learn how you think and what you've put together for this trip, and finally be revealing what you've been planning for like 6 months for us, literally. So yeah, he's an American, lives in Mexico, has tons of relationships down there, and has been leading tours and events for like 20 years all over Latin America. More than that? How many?
Yeah. I've lived here, about 23 years total. Yeah, I've lived in Mexico for about 23 years. Yeah, I immigrated a long time ago. Yeah.
Incredible. And how long have you been leading tours down there for?
My first, I'm going to age myself here. The first tour I ever led in Mexico and Central America also was in 1989. So yeah, I've been doing it in a while. Yeah.
Wow. Incredible. All right. So clearly Mark knows what he's doing. He knows all the ins and outs, all the questions, all the problems. He's solved them. And you know how many variables there are on these experiences. And so really, really great to have you. So his favorite place, it's almost impossible to choose, he says, but the middle of the ocean somewhere probably, or diving in a cenote. That's amazing. So clearly cenotes mean that you live in the right place, because I know that you live in the Yucatan Peninsula where cenotes exist. So you live in the right spot. You've actually created a life where you get to be around your favorite place. So that's truly special. Living the fuck yes life, Mark. And we got 2 scuba diving shares so far. And then CJ is a creative event producer, and your favorite trip was Iceland, all of it. And Iceland was recently. Didn't you just go recently, CJ?
Yeah, we were over there just the end of last year.
Amazing. Awesome. Cool. And Michael, we heard a little bit from you verbally, but you also put in the chat, visual content producer, bottom of the ocean in the Caymans. Amazing. Oh, I skipped Coulter. Wow. Sorry, Coulter. What's up, man? Coulter's favorite trip. He owns his own tour company. So Coulter is an amazing guy. He came on our Zion retreat, and he leads trips for people in Yellowstone and is expanding that. And he had an amazing 6-figure year, his first full year doing this, and reached his goals of leading these trips. And so it's incredible that we get to have Coulter with us, who leads trips as well and is building his brand and his business and getting inspired as he's inspiring others in the real world, in nature. So his tour company is what he does, and his favorite trip was Alaska. Maybe that could be it sounds like a really great place to have a brick trip too. And maybe the bottom of the Cayman Islands. I don't know. All right, so Cambria, welcome back. Oh, what's up, Jade? Welcome. So we're just doing a quick warm-up where we're sharing what we do and our favorite place we have ever visited. So we just went through everyone. So if maybe you and Cambria want to hop in the last minute and share that in the chat, would love to see what your response is. And Oh, here's Cambria now. Cambria is a real estate agent and a travel lover, and her favorite place so far is Thailand. Incredible. Would love to go to Thailand. Okay, so we're going to move on now that we have learned how well-traveled we all are. Oh, Jade's going to come in the last second. Freelance producer. Also, Jade just signed up for her first feature film as a producer. So that's been a really big win for her. She's got that going on this far, but specifically told her production that she's carving out this time for the retreat, which is pretty incredible. So perfect example of somebody who is finding work-life balance, and really, really wonderful to have you. So your favorite trip was the Faroe Islands. I don't know anything about the Faroe Islands. Maybe there's a lot of birds there, I'm remembering. Is that something else? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, totally. I can. Yeah, Faroe Islands are sick. So I was doing a 3-week road trip in Scotland, and I did that. And you can get to the Faroe Islands from Edinburgh or Copenhagen pretty easily, like direct flight. And it's a chain of islands that's above Scotland and like sort of next to Iceland. And I was trying to figure out, I was like, everyone's going to Iceland. What's like kind of weirder than Iceland? And it's the Faroe Islands. So it's like similar vibes. Puffins, you're right, birds. Crazy hikes, super like melancholy and like foggy, and just like the most incredible scenery I've ever seen. Yeah, so it's sick if you're into like outdoor stuff.
Well, we actually have someone here who said Iceland was her favorite trip she's ever been on. CJ said that, so maybe Faroe Islands is a good part 2 for that.
Cool.
Okay, so we're going to move on. Amber, if you want to put up the next slide. Really, really grateful for Amber being here. She wasn't planning on coming here today, but we had some technical issues, and so now she's the one sharing the screen. I am here at my grandfather's house on Lake Erie in Ohio. It's actually Lake Erie right there in his patio, and the Wi-Fi went down, so I am here on my phone hotspot making all this happen. So I would love for you to all stay till the end. We only have 45 minutes left here together, but we're going to be doing a giveaway of a Bagby mat. So if you can see that in that image, that is a recycled mat that you put underneath your keyboard and your mouse that actually slips your phone inside. And so that is something that I've actually been using myself, and that's why we're doing the giveaway, because I built a relationship with them because I really like the product. And it's just a really great way to create that deep work. This whole retreat that we're putting on together is about creating a practice for deep work. And so I thought it would be perfect for our giveaway this time. We always have a giveaway. It's been like CBD or random other really cool stuff. But for this, I wanted to be specifically a product that helped us with, even though it's cliche, that out of sight, out of mind really does work. And if you have your phone in view, even if you're able to not check it, there is science that shows that it reduces the quality of your work, it reduces your distractibility, it makes it more difficult for you to focus. And so by having it out of sight, out of mind in this nice little slip is just a really easy way for you to take it out of sight, out of mind. So 5 of you that stay till the end will actually win that, and it'll be shipped to you immediately. So I'm really excited for that. Amber, feel free to click the next slide. We are going to review the agenda first. So can you actually go to the next slide? Oh, it looks like we might have skipped the agenda slide. But okay, so the agenda is, oh, there we go, perfect. So the agenda for the next 45 minutes is, for those of you who are new or forgot what Brick was, you're gonna figure out exactly what we're about in 1 minute, in 60 seconds. Then I'm gonna share why this is called the Deep Work Retreat. Why are we going to Mexico? What is the purpose of this? All of the Brick trips have a specific theme. And this is this is the theme that I'm most excited about, where you're really gonna come away with a practice of deep work. And I'll share why that's super important. Then we'll share a little bit about Oaxaca itself. Mark is gonna jump on and share what's so special about this place in Mexico. And then we're going to go over the itinerary, and I'm going to tell you day by day, beat by beat, some of the magical experiences that we're going to be having together. Then I'll be answering any questions, and we'll be doing the giveaway. And we're going to be doing that all in 45 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. What's up, Santi? Great to see you. While we start, why don't you, if you like, feel free to add into the chat what you do and your favorite place you've ever visited. That is the warm-up question that we've given everybody. And Stephen, yes, I'd be happy to share the deck after. Good question. I'll send an email to you all with a link to this recording itself and the deck. Feel free to ask questions like that anytime, and I'll answer them when I can. All right, next slide, please. And then go ahead and click that button, and you all will learn what we are all about.
Hi, my name is Tommy Sobel, and welcome to Brick.
Full screen.
Brick is a community of leaders and forward thinkers who are dissatisfied with their relationship to screens. Brick's mission is to create a world where healthy phone habits make us more fulfilled, present, and connected. Here's some of the amazing things that we've done over the last 5 years.
We can go anywhere. We can go anywhere. 'Cause we got the world and we can go anywhere. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
If you're interested in reducing your screen time so that you can be more productive and live a more fulfilled life, then join us at gobricknow.com. Hi.
Thank you so much. So it's cool seeing a lot of familiar faces. I saw Coulter and Jade and Santi in there, and Cambria. So yeah, that is our new video. You might have seen that before, but I just love how it encapsulates kind of the experiences that we've had in the past. And I can't wait for Tutor to have more footage from this next one and add it to the next recap video that we'll be making together. That'll be just as epic, if not more epic. So I want to also say, in terms of the agenda, that my intention for this call is to create clarity around this experience for each of you, whether you're coming on the retreat or whether you're thinking of coming on the retreat, so that you can decide if you're going to join us. That's my intention. So hopefully we come away with you guys having that. So I have a question for each of you as we get to know each other. Maybe just a quick hand raise. Who is coming already to this retreat? Who's already confirmed? Shanti's, Mark, yes, Mark, CJ, Tudor, me, Coulter. Amazing. All right, Michael, I see you there. Perfect. And who is like considering coming? Who's like here? They're like trying to check it out. Ty, awesome. I think Steven, you're in that same situation. Perfect. And who's been to a brick retreat before? Anybody? Santi, I have. A lot of you have. 2 participants raised their hand. What does that mean? Oh, CJ and Cambria virtually raised their hand. Okay, awesome. Cool. So a number of us. And who here is like in the wrong Zoom meeting? Anybody realize they're in the wrong place? Oh, okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna make sure I can see the chat. All right, so what we're going to do is next, I'm gonna share a little bit about why we have this deep work retreat. And Amber, I think there might be a page on that, but
yeah, I think we might have some technical difficulties. I'm going to try to reshare that presentation again.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Whenever you got it. So deep work is in contrast to shallow work, and shallow work is the kind of work that I feel like I hear about all the time, where you're responding to emails, you're replying to messages, you're scheduling things. It's replicable tasks that aren't very cognitively intensive. And we can often find ourselves spending all day or our lives in this kind of work, where it's busy work, but it's not actually moving the needle. And so deep work is like the opposite of that. Deep work is distraction free. It requires you to be distraction free. and it's very cognitively demanding work. So like, for example, I'm in this process right now of writing a book, and I spent a year writing absolutely none of it because I didn't carve out the time to do the deep work. I kept telling myself, oh, I'll just write for a little bit each day. And then the moment I would get on my computer, I would see the emails, see the scheduling requests, and suddenly an entire year had gone by. And my number one most important thing, the one thing that really would make my life fulfilling, my biggest goal that I had set for myself, I hadn't done any of it. And so the moment I started actually carving out time for deep work every single morning, of going distraction free and doing this very difficult thing, like I would find myself procrastinating, doing everything else because it's uncomfortable to actually do this creative, difficult task. You probably have something in your life, whether it's, I know some of you are musicians, some of you are founders, and you're raising for your business soon, or you have this one project that you've always wanted to do, or this new job that you wanted to create, but you're so comfortable in the one that you currently are in. All of these require you to say no to all the distractions, the common digital distractions of the day, and focus on deep work. So does that make sense? Does anybody want to add to that, their experience with deep work? Maybe how difficult it is to achieve it, even if you know what it is conceptually? I thought CJ, are you going to say something? No, maybe not.
Yeah, I think for me, deep work is, you're just talking about the definition. For me, it's when I can get into like a flow state in the zone for a duration of time, to the point like where I don't really even realize how long the time has gone by because I'm so like focused and monotasking that one thing.
Yeah, very well said. Monotasking, I feel like, is so CJ actually works with the author of a book called Monotasking, Thatcher. So she is an expert on this, on deep work. And I think that's really well said. It's creating an amount of flow state where you lose a sense of time even. And a lot of research shows that even just 50 minutes of focused deep work, of that focused flow state, can often have more impact than 5 days of shallow work. So if you really want to create time freedom in your life, it requires you to have a practice of deep work where you can get your most important goals met, where you can focus on the biggest, most important things that really matter. And by doing that, you can create the income that you need. You can create the products, the services that really move the needle for you. And then you have way more free time to live life in the real world. So this deep work practice, I believe, is truly the number one most important skill that separates the successful few from the distracted many, everyone else. Distraction is the norm. And more than ever today, being able to create a practice of deep work is what can set you apart when you're looking for a new job, when you're trying to prove yourself in a position, when you're trying to make progress towards something, because everybody else is so incredibly distracted, lost in social media, focused on the wrong things, focused on the busy work that might make them feel like they're doing something, but not actually doing the most important things. Okay, feel free to go to the next slide. I accidentally said it on this call, so you guys might already know, but this was a pop quiz. Does anybody know how to say that word? Does anybody not know how to say that word? Who doesn't know how to say it and wants to take a guess on how to say that word? Which is where we're going. Anybody?
Oaxaca.
You so bold. Oaxaca. What do you guys think? It's really close. Oh, Mark, our guy gave you a thumbs down. Okay. Anybody want to give a second guess?
It was close. It was really close.
Oaxaca is the first guess. Any other guesses from people who don't actually know how to say it and want to give a shot? Give it a shot. Michael. Oh, you're muted. I can unmute you.
All right, still learning how this phone works. Oaxaca. Oaxaca.
Oaxaca. Yes, that is
Okay.
it. It is Oaxaca.
Oaxaca?
Yes, it's Oaxaca. Okay, good job. Amazing. So thank you so much, Tutor, for also jumping in.
Does anybody know what it means?
Mark, why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us a little bit about Oaxaca, this beautiful place that you love so much personally, and I do as well. What's so special about it? Why did we decide, out of all the places in the world, of all the places even in Mexico, why Oaxaca? Why not Chihuahua or
Okay.
Acapulco?
Well, first of all, for anybody that's traveled throughout Mexico, you have to know it's one of definitely the most diverse countries on the planet. Honestly, a lot of times people, especially from the United States, who go on vacation there, they don't really realize that because they just kind of go to Cancun or something. But honestly, I've traveled everywhere all over the country. And what's so special about that Oaxaca, first of all, it's in a already diverse country. It's one of the most diverse regions in the country. And also of all the coastal areas, the Oaxaca coast, and I've been to all of them. And again, a country where there's a lot of great coastline, a lot of great beaches, some of the most stunning in the entire country. Honestly, I'll go out on a limb and say in the world. And I've been to a lot of beaches in a lot of places. It's stunning, and combined the costeño people, the coastal Oaxacan people are some of the kindest and friendliest people. The food is amazing. The setting that we have also, we spent a lot of time trying to find the perfect site space to have the workshops. And that was kind of painstaking in a way, trying to find the perfect place and with the right, the right size, the right setting to not have distractions. And we have this beautiful, honestly, a beautiful building set of villas really on a cliff overlooking the Pacific, a short walk down to sort of a semi-private beach. You couldn't ask for a better setting. And the activities that we can do in that region, we actually, there's so many great things we can do. We had to sort of curate this and pick the best and work that in with the workshops. We're going to be doing some amazing things, not just eating well, having beautiful scenery and having these workshops in an amazing setting. We're going to go whitewater rafting. We're going to
wait. We're going to do Mark, we're going to give a whole day.
I'm getting ahead of myself.
So don't give too much away yet.
About it.
In like 5 minutes, we'll go through that.
But Oaxaca's amazing. For anybody that hasn't been there, in a country that I love, it's my adopted country. I immigrated a very long time ago. This is one of my favorite places in the whole country. I always look forward to going back there. So I'll shut up now, Tommy. You can go. Sorry about that.
But no, it's all good. You're
excited.
Yeah, me too. And what's so great about Mark having had the experience that he has living in Mexico, being an American in Mexico, knowing the language fluently, is he's been able to pull so many favors for us. He has all of these relationships, and we're going to be having these experiences, these people that are going to be participating and facilitating some of these experiences for us that nobody even knows about. They're like very locals only vibes, and a lot of types of experiences that a lot of people that go to Oaxaca don't even know about. And so Mark is really the perfect person to gift us what a coastal Oaxaca experience can be like. He knows the entire coastline like the back of his hand, and it's really amazing all the things that Mark you've been willing to share with us, and I can't wait to experience it in person. He really has been putting a lot of work.
Everybody be well taken care of. That's the one thing I promise: amazing experiences and well taken care of. That's one thing I promise you for sure.
Absolutely. So let's move on. Amber, if you want to go to the next slide here. Mark was mentioning a little bit about our location. And if you haven't taken a look at the event page, or even if you have, I just wanted to flag this for you because we've been to a lot of beautiful places on our brick trips. If you went to Guatemala, some of you have been to Guatemala, Santi, Cambria, you know, we had this incredible villa with like a pool, and you could see a volcano erupting in the distance. And like, I remember walking in there for the first time and I was just like, wow, I already feel transported. But this place that we're staying that Mark found for us in Oaxaca is so completely next level. I hate to even call it a villa because it's really a resort. And this resort, well, you'll see. Let's play, Amber, can you play a little bit of the video? And this place we have completely to ourselves. Oh, we can't hear the audio. Just imagine like romantic mariachi music. You might have to reshare the share audio. So.
Can you hear it now?
Yep, there we go. Perfect. So it's cutting out for me a little bit. Is it cutting out for you guys?
Yeah. But I get the gist.
Yeah, we're not gonna watch all 3.5 minutes here, but the important thing is that we have this whole place to ourselves. It's walking distance to this beautiful bay here called Playa Violin. There's 4 infinity pools. There's a whole restaurant that is going to be full-time devoted just to us. You know, I don't know if it's these exact ladies, but they'll probably be just as nice. And I don't want to, yes, this massage is not false advertising. You'll see that in the itinerary as well. Okay. All right. So that is actually Jade right there on that paddleboard. She came early for the video. All right, thank you, Amber. So that's the resort that we're all going to be staying in. So again, like we're going to be having all these amazing outdoors activities. We're going to be doing all these workshops, but more than ever before, we really wanted to make the location that we're at beautiful. We're going to be super, super comfortable where we're at. That's a huge part of this itself. Any questions about it so far? Any thoughts?
Is there a time for questions about the location and the facilities and stuff now or later?
Why don't you ask a couple questions? We do have a full Q&A after the itinerary, but while we're on the location, what are you curious about?
I will wait. I'll wait for the Q&A just in case you answer something.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so Amber, go to the next slide, please. So this is where you're going to find out for the first time some of the key things that we're going to be doing every single day. Again, this is 8 days, 7 nights, and I'm not going to share all of it with you because surprise is one of the special sauces in life that I feel like we've lost today. If you're going to go to a new restaurant, you've typically already looked at the menu and seen like what you're supposed to order. If you're going to go on a first date, you've already looked at their profile or Instagram. You know, if you're going to watch a movie, you've already watched a bunch of clips on YouTube. So we've kind of lost the element of surprise. And so we're going to retain that here because that surprise is hugely dopaminergic, as in it creates dopamine for you. And we don't want to, dopamine is not bad, but we're getting so much dopamine from our phones. I want to create experiences where we're getting more dopamine than ever before in the real world so that our phones pale in comparison. That's one of the kind of goals here. So Amber, go ahead and let's start. So on the arrival day, which is day 1, we don't really have too much planned. All we're going to do is settle into that villa, and that is the villa right there. And that is Playa Violin that we are going to be staying at. And so we're going to check in the afternoon. You can arrive anytime in the afternoon. 1 second. I want to just pull up some notes for this. Okay, thanks for your patience. So on day one, the arrival day, like I said, we arrive. I'll be giving kind of like an opening speech. We'll have a welcome celebration. And this trip is different than others in that the first half of the trip, so like days 1 through 4, I believe, I'm pretty sure, are going to be as completely phone free as possible. So in the past, we've either, like in Guatemala, we had the final detox on the second half of the trip. We're going to be doing that on the first half of the trip. So we're actually going to be dropping in and becoming a temporary phone-free community immediately, right when we start on Sunday. We're going to have that digital detox experience. And then the second half of the trip, that's where we start to reintroduce the phones. Because what we're going to be doing every single morning, well, I'll get to that in a second, but we'll be going phone free on that night. And again, essential use is essential. If you need to talk to your kids once a night, if you need to check in with your assistant, we're not going to stop you from doing that. All we're going to do is ask that you do it discreetly, you do it alone. We don't want you to trigger someone else by having them see your phone. And so really this is for you. We want you to have a digital detox experience in a healthy way, in a way that's challenging for you, but is uncomfortable in a helpful way. And so if it increases stress, if you feel like you need to be on, you've got a big project, Jade's got this movie, that's going into production in the fall. Like if there's some essential use that she has to do, then absolutely you will have access to your computer, your phone to do what you absolutely need to do. So there's no risk of that. This is really just all being phone free when we're together. Does that make sense? And that's how it'll be for the first half of the trip. Go ahead and go to the second slide. Day 2 is our visioning day. And I'll be leading a visioning workshop where we will be getting crystal clear clarity on what really matters. Because you don't know what a distraction is until you know what it's distracting you from. And we often don't know what our biggest goals are in life. Or maybe we did do some goal setting, but we did it 3 months ago. Like some of us did at the Zion retreat, or maybe you've done it in the past, but now your goals have shifted and you don't really know what they are yet. Or maybe you're in a transition period and you're not really quite sure what you really want. You've got lots of different opportunities and you don't know what the right one is yet. You feel like you're in a little bit of a dilemma. And so by visioning, we're going to get that clarity of what you really want your life to look like 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 10 years from now. And then we begin with the end in mind. We know what we want to focus on because we know where we want to go. We've got this kind of plan. We've got this North Star that we know we want to be navigating towards. So this visioning day is absolutely essential for what we're doing for the rest of the week, but also just for the rest of our lives. And we have visioning workshops in every single one of these retreats because they're just so important for us to know what we really want. And then if we go to the, I'm going to keep the rest of that a surprise. Let's go to day 3. So day 3 is where we take our surf trip for the day. I know Santi's excited for the surf trip experience. Santi's probably going to be surfing throughout the week. We've already spoken about this. So if anybody else is a surfer and you want to hop away during the free time to hit some of the waves that are about 45 minutes away, Santi's going to be organizing that. I'm going to maybe even try to join him if the waves aren't too big for me. And so day 3 is our surf trip to Puerto Escondido, which is it means hidden port. And it's one of the most beautiful, fun surf towns in Mexico, in all of Mexico. It's kind of similar to Sayulita, and it's got some of the biggest, best waves in the world. Like the best big wave surfers come to this area, and they have the world surfing competitions about once a year there. And we're going to be going in September, October, where it's not going to be crazy big, but we are going to have our own surf lessons. I actually went to Puerto Escondido in May this year, scouting this trip. And I did a surf lesson, my first ever surf lesson, even though I've been surfing for a long time. And it was amazing to have these like local, really cool guys on with fins. And it's like you have a golf caddy who's like holding your clubs for you, but instead of golfing, it's surfing. So they like hold your board. They're like, come over here. Okay, get ready. And they're like, and paddle right now. And then they push you off. And so you don't have to worry about being in the right place. You don't have to worry about getting hurt. You don't have to worry about hitting anybody. All you have to do is the fun part, which is like stand up, which is the part that I'm better at. And it's just so fun. And so we'll have an entire day going up to Puerto Escondido. We'll also be having lunch and dinner there. We're going to be handing everybody cash. And there's this really cool area called La Punta with all these restaurants and all these people in flip-flops walking around, coming off the beach. And we're going to be being able to do taste test of all the little restaurants in that area. So that'll be for the evening. I think that what I didn't mention was that the town in Oaxaca that we're staying at, where we have that resort, is in a town called Huatulco, Mexico. And Huatulco is a very up and coming like resort town. It's very safe. There's a lot of kind of like really elegant, luxurious resort accommodations like the one that we're at. None as nice or as big to fit as many people, but it's kind of like that vibe. And so we'll be in this kind of secluded, it's like very close to the national park. So there's lots of nature where we are. And that's about 2-hour drive south of Puerto Escondido. So we're actually going to be experiencing this. It's a true surf trip. We're going 2 hours north for the day to see a whole new city, a whole new town, and then coming back that night into Huatulco. Obviously, if you've got any questions, we'll be having a Q&A, but if you really need to ask a question right now, I would be happy to answer it. All right, let's go to day 4. So day 4 is called the semi-retired lifestyle day. So we are now halfway through the retreat. We've experienced a lot of the adventure. We've experienced Mexican food, Mexican culture, Oaxacan food, Oaxacan culture specifically, had incredible outdoors experiences. Day 4 is the day that I introduce what's called the morning power hour. And so this is where we're going to take our biggest needle movers that we discovered in our visioning workshop, and we're actually going to be doing deep work together, like co-working that morning, starting on day 4. And I'm actually going to be teaching you how to do it, like the exact step-by-step method that I use every single morning to get into that flow state that CJ mentioned. So you don't have to worry about just like, I'm not going to drop you. This is like the embodying the message here. We're actually going to be practicing this as a group together. So we're going to be doing that starting on day 4, but we're not going to be working all day. We're just going to be doing it in the morning, focusing on your number one most important task for like 2 hours. And then we're going to be going into the national park and having a full day of whitewater rafting. And this is a really, really special experience that Mark has put together. We have a rafting company that is like ready and waiting, super excited for us. It's going to be like a whole 6 to 8 hour experience where they're going to be serving us lunch, and we're going to be doing class 3 and class 4 rapids, I believe. Mark can confirm. But I'm super excited for this. We've never done whitewater rafting at a brick trip, but I know many of you have like proposed this in the past. Like Cambria, I feel like you've said to me more than anything, like how you really want to go whitewater rafting. Who here has been whitewater rafting before? Awesome. Who's never been whitewater rafting? Wow, okay, everybody's done it. Awesome. Oh, Tudor hasn't. Awesome. So Tudor will see, he'll have his first experience while he's figuring out how to fly the drone safely through the wilderness down the river. We'll see how that goes. And so I love day 4 because the first half of the trip is really kind of like the vacation part where we're gonna just press the reset button on our stress level, on our overwhelm, like just be fully present and wind down, like unwind from the stress of our day-to-day lives. And day 4 is where we start to switch. This is where we start getting back into, okay, I am working, but I'm working with work-life balance. I focus for 2 hours in the morning, and then I have a fucking amazing day planned for me filled with adventure and exhilaration. And the whole rest of the trip, we're going to be baking that in so that by the time you leave the trip, you'll have this daily practice of deep work and you can bring that into your daily lives so that you're not working 24/7 all day like I used to. And I feel like many of us are. You're working on just the most important task and then you're living your life. You're making great money, you're making a great impact, you're making a great income, you're serving others, and then you're doing what you love in the real world. And so we start that with day 4. Sound good? I'm really excited for this so far. Awesome. Let's move on. Oh, you skipped one. There we go. All right. So day 5 is our another day on the water where we're going to be renting a bunch of boats and we're going to be traveling through. So Huatulco has 9 beautiful bays and they're all incredible colors, tons of marine life, sharks and whales and turtles. Like just, it's really untapped and incredible. And obviously we can't guarantee anything, but chances are really good that we're going to be seeing a lot of that stuff. I see Michael's eyes wide. I feel the same way about turtles specifically. So we're going to be jumping on some boats. I'm going to be leading workshops. Obviously, every single day I'll be leading a workshop in the morning, but we'll be having breakfast on the property, going to the marina, and then having this boat excursion all around Huatulco into just these very beautiful surroundings in these very rustic boats. This is not the exact boat we're going to take. It's going to be like a much more classic rustic boat. I'm excited for you to see that. We'll have like snorkel gear, and then we're going to have this whole fun experience on the beach that we've been planning that I'm really, really excited about. That night and most nights, we will be having a sunset meditation. So meditation is a very big part of my work as a coach and as a healer. And many of you have experienced the meditations that we do. I actually created a whole modality that I call super conscious therapy, where we go into a meditative state and we access the higher realms, the infinite wisdom that's available to us at all times. And we connect to our higher self. We connect to our divine timing, which is our destiny, basically, our peak potential. And so we're going to be doing that every single day in different ways. And all of it's optional, but doing it in a beautiful place, grounded in nature, on the beach or in water. I'm really excited to share with you all an experience in person, because we just do it throughout the year on Zoom. And it's great, but there's nothing more impactful than doing it in person. And actually, I'm going to offer an opportunity for a quick share. For anybody who's been to a brick retreat in the past, maybe they've done the visioning workshop or they've done some of the meditations together, they've done the super conscious therapy. Can anybody comment on what it's like doing it in person versus over Zoom? What that experience is like?
I can go.
Thanks, Santi.
I think if I'm being super honest with you, I really enjoy them both a lot. But I think the main difference is that it feels like you're doing it together. So though you're going deep into your own world, you're also kind of like doing it together. And so there's a really good feeling when you come out, you look around, and you see everybody looking happy, looking at peace. And then there was one in particular where there was a pretty cool moment at the end where we were all meditating around one person in particular, and it was a really touching moment after. So it can be special bonding time.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, so I like doing it on Zoom and in person too. I actually really appreciate you saying that. But being able to have these experiences together in the real world is just another way to level up together. So I love that. All right, so day 5 is boat day. Let's see what day 6 is. Day 6 is our letting go day. So we're going to be having, well, imagine all the ways that you can let go. You can let go of the tension from the whitewater rapids, or running around on the boat, with massages, which we were going to be giving everybody. So it's kind of like our spa day. It's like the alternative name for it. And it's also the day that we're going to be letting go of all the things that are holding us back. So this is where we're going to go the deepest, where we're going to uncover our inner obstacles and just be vulnerable with each other, and say no to the person who has been playing small, the version of us that maybe is comfortable, that's in their comfort zone, that isn't rising up to be the best version of themselves. And so we're going to be in a very safe, comfortable environment, creating a situation where we can let that go and embodying that. And I'm really excited to share how that goes. And that was the experience that Santi was just mentioning in the past, where we had a super conscious therapy group session around this one person. And obviously they volunteered for it, so you won't be kind of put on the hot seat without you wanting to be. But that just made it really special for everybody. Also, it's important to know that starting on day 5 and 6, that's where are starting on day 5, actually, that's where we start to reintroduce the phone. So the first half of the trip was completely phone free, essential use only, of course. The second half of the trip, we're going to be giving everybody their phone for 1 hour when they're trying to do their deep work on day 5, so that you can experience real world conditions of what it's like to have your distractions available to you. So on day 6, we're going to be doing it again and having your phone for maybe 2 to 4 hours and seeing how you can focus with that. And so by the time we leave this trip, we're going to be, excuse me, you'll have your phone for the entire day, but hopefully you'll be able to practice the deep work and practice the distraction-free habits that I'll be sharing with you on this trip, so that you can drop those distractions and focus on what really matters every day once you leave here. That's the goal. So we're not just saying, hey, we're going to have a great digital detox and live freedom, and then go back into our real world and be like, what the heck? Like, how do I recreate that and kind of be lost? We're actually going to be practicing that together. That's the most important thing here. Does that make sense? You guys like that? Okay. All right. So that's day 6. And let's go to the next day. Day 7 is reintegration day. So this is the final full day. And this is where we really kind of lock in all of the lessons that we've experienced, where if there's somebody that maybe you didn't get a chance to spend too much time with on the trip so far, to really make a point to get to know them better. Maybe if you didn't have much time to go down to the beach as much as you wanted, or go take a hike to a thing that somebody found, this is your day to do that. We're not going to be leaving the property on this day. We're just going to be staying, really just kind of being together. And then that night, we're going to have what's called should I say this yet? Yeah, I think I should. So on the end of this day, for our like grand finale celebration, we're going to be having what's called a divine union with yourself. So a divine union with yourself. Now, this is basically like marrying yourself. You are going to create vows and commitments to yourself for who you really want to be. You know, when you get married and you marry someone, you make these vows like, I promise to be there for you, for poor or for sick or healthy, whatever, I can't remember. You know, I promise to, you know, protect you. Something CJ might be able to remember. But we don't often create these same vows and commitments for ourselves. We don't often say like, hey, I'm not going to allow myself to stay up too late, distracted on Netflix anymore. I'm going to wake up early and exercise so that I can feel good about my body and myself, and make the music or make the impact that I really want to be. And so by you, in a very sacred celebration that we're going to be putting together on the final night, This is where you're going to have the chance, perhaps for the first time forever. When I did this actually in Oaxaca at a retreat, it was very, very powerful for me, where I had never actually written down the things of what I was fully committed to for myself. It was like, I am never going to go 3 days without exercising ever again. I'm never going to go a day without focusing on my number one priority. So you get to decide. You don't have to think about any of this right now, but this is one of the powerful workshops or experiences that we're going to be putting together for you. You know, for beautiful, visually, experientially, you know, with group support as well, so that we can be there for each other as we make these commitments. But that is the kind of final reintegration day, so that you're coming back to the real world, committed to being the new you, knowing exactly what that looks like, and with a bunch of people that are really ready to support you to maintain that. And let's go to the final day, which is departure day. So there's not much planned. We're gonna take a big group photo. I'll probably cry, and we will say goodbye. Also, some of us are probably going to be spending a day before the trip and after the trip in Mexico City, because you're going to be flying from Mexico City to Huatulco Airport is probably the way that the flights will work for you. So if any of you guys are interested in that, when we put the WhatsApp group together and coordinate things and coordinate flights, just know that that's an option if you have the time. And we'll enjoy some time in Mexico City as well. So that is the basics of the trip. There's a lot that I didn't share that I'm also very excited about, and you'll find out about that soon if you do join us. Next, go to the next slide, please. So our guarantee, if you come on this trip, is that you will have one of the best weeks of your life, that you will have a daily practice that will prime you for great success, focus, and freedom, that practice of deep work, and you'll have this community of lifelong friends. That's what I guarantee to you on this trip. That's my intention for each of you. It's amazing. I had the same intention for Guatemala, where I was like, I want this trip to be the best week of everyone's life. I didn't tell anybody. I'm telling you all now for this one, but I didn't tell anybody that time. And after that trip, I had 5 people that basically said something to that extent to me. So I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I really do mean it. And with the amount of work and effort, that is my goal for each of us here together. Okay, next slide, please. If you haven't joined yet, you probably already have the link. Those are the links so that you can either apply, or if you're pre-approved, then you can just buy it out directly. And then the next slide, actually, Amber, if you want to type that into the chat, those links in the chat, that would actually be super helpful. And then let's go to the Q&A. Oh, wow, it's 3. Okay. All right, so I wanted to commit to 60 minutes, but if you guys are able to stay a couple minutes longer, I would love to answer any questions that you have. Maybe while you think of the questions, I'd love to answer Santi's question. Mark, do you know, are there any reefs for diving near where we're going to be?
Sorry, I had to unmute there. So not so much coral reef, but there is reef. There are nice, there are dive shops in Huatulco. I can certainly help people with that. So you don't see a lot of corals like you would on the Caribbean side, or even like Cabo Pulmo in Baja California Sur. But no, there are nice areas to dive, but it's more like rocky areas with a lot of tropical fish. Still very beautiful, but I can definitely help people with that if they're interested in diving.
Awesome. And if you're a free diver in the group, feel free to put that in the chat, especially for experienced surfers. Also, Santi is asking if there's any mezcal lovers. That's a great question. Mark, do you actually want to tell us? So Tudor raised his hand, Michael raised his hand. I wasn't going to announce this, but since you guys asked, we actually have a whole mezcal tasting experience planned for you guys on the first night. So when we drop in, you're going to be seeing what Oaxaca is famous for. one of the things it's famous for,
One of the
which is
things, yeah.
mezcal. Yeah. And Mark is going to be leading that and teaching us a lot about mezcal. Anything you want to add briefly, Mark, about that?
No, that's it. I mean, I don't want to give it all away now, but yeah, well, must be a magical mezcal. It's something that's very famous for lots of parts of Mexico, but especially Oaxaca. And yeah, it'll be a really fun experience learning about it. There's a lot of misunderstandings, misconceptions about what mezcal is. I know when I was a kid, when I was going to college, we drank mezcal and we thought it was horrible because we had horrible mezcal, and it's actually an amazing drink. There's so many different varieties of it. So we'll talk about the type that come from the cultivated agaves, plus the wild agaves that they have to go out and find in the hills and the valleys throughout Oaxaca, and try different types and talk about the process, how it's made, how it's different from tequila, even though tequila is technically a type of mezcal. It's a little confusing, but yeah, it'll be a really fun experience, and you get to try something that Oaxaca is really famous for.
Love it. Amazing. Great question. If you, Santi, want to bring more to the resort, you absolutely can. This trip is not a dry trip, but we're not going to be providing alcohol. So we're the whole point is for us to be intentional here. You know, you think of it kind of like a wellness trip or mindfulness trip. So we're not going to be getting drunk. But if you obviously are going to participate in the mezcal, that'll be for everybody available on the first night. And then alcohol will also be available to purchase in the evenings for dinner as well, if you want like a beer or something. So that's a great question. Also, Santi's saying he'd love a bit of dedicated silent journaling time and free time at the start or end of the daylight hours to unwind and explore. So we have carved out more than ever before free time every single day. This retreat, this resort we're staying at in particular is so perfect for you to find a nook in your casita. Everyone's going to have their own casita, their own like king bed, their own villa basically, or walking around in the area, going down the beach, going on a little hike down the rocks. There's lots of places that you can go, and free time is really important on this trip. And so obviously on like the surf trip day and the whitewater rafting day, there's like huge periods of time where we're going to be all together, but and doing the workshops in the morning. So there might be a little bit less free time, but every other day we have free time planned. Coulter wants to do the surfing in the free time. Okay. And CJ booked flights yesterday. Amazing. Yes, please do bring a laptop. So not only can you bring a laptop, I'm suggesting that you bring a laptop because we're going to be doing co-working deep work together almost every day. And you don't necessarily know what your biggest priority is yet. And so you might need your laptop for that. Does that make sense? And for emergency, you know, just in case something comes up, perhaps. Cambria, it's so great to see you. Okay, any other questions?
I have a question. How far, like if we wanted to explore the local town, how far is that, or how do we get there? Is it walking distance?
That's a great question. So Mark, back me up on this, but in Huatulco, we are very close. We're like a 10 to 15 minute drive to downtown Huatulco. And to give another little surprise, excuse me, we're actually going to be having dinner in Huatulco for one of the nights. So we'll get to experience what that is like. Puerto Escondido, which is the second closest town, that's about 2 hours away. So we'll be having that special day carved out for that. Did I answer your question? Is that right?
Yeah, how do we, like if we wanted to get to the town,
oh yeah,
can we walk there?
Yeah, you could in theory walk. So Huatulco is the whole area, and then not too far from where we're staying is the marina area, where that's where we'll go. Probably be getting on the boats for our, the day we go out on the boats, and that's called Santa Cruz. And then the town, sort of downtown Huatulco, that area is called La Crucecita. And you could, in theory, walk there. I mean, if you're a walker, it's a bit of a walk though, but taxis are readily available. So what we'll do is, you say, hey, Mark, Tommy, or Bea, my assistant, it's free time. I just want to go in and go to the little market in town, or go get a coffee and just see something different. See the church in town. Yeah, we'll get a taxi. They're super inexpensive. It's easy to get around on your own by taxi. Where it's a time of the year where the humidity is starting to go down a bit, so it's not like now where it's extremely humid. We're kind of at the end of the rainy season, so the humidity drops. So if you're a walker and you really like to walk, yeah, you can easily walk it. It's a super safe area. Even at night, it's safe to walk. So yeah, it's easy to get around. It's not a problem at all. And by taxi or walking, not an issue.
Cambria is definitely going to take advantage of the coffees in town and meeting some nice little craft women.
Some of the best coffee in the country. Is we're very close to where all the coffee fincas are up in the mountains. So there's really good coffee in the region as well.
Looks like CJ and Cambria got their morning planned. All right, Santi has a question. This will be the last question, and then obviously ask me questions anytime. Are there any little motos or vehicles that they can rent for the week? Probably for those like little surf trips.
I would, for going around town, yeah, it's bicycles or motos, scooters. They do rent them. Going out on the highway, however, I wouldn't recommend that. But again, it's easy to get up and down the coast. There are car rentals for people that want to do that. There are also obviously taxis, buses, etc. It's pretty easy to get it up and down the coast. It just depends on what you prefer, how you want to get around. But for scooters on the highway going, if you're going to go drive, for example, all the way to somewhere like Puerto Escondido on those little scooters, it's probably not the best idea at highway speeds to be doing that. But yeah, it's very easy to get around, and I'll help you with that stuff. I'll give you all the options if you want to do that when we're there.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Cool. Thank you, Mark. All right, so let's move on. Thank you all for staying late with me today. These are great questions, or with us today. I think next is so if you haven't bought your ticket yet and you're like, I like what I see, I feel excited and inspired by this, but like I can't really figure out how the money's going to work. I just want you to know that I don't want money to be the reason for anybody to not attend. And so we've got super flexible payment plans. We definitely can make it work. Just tell me you want to come and we'll hop on the phone and we'll figure it out. Okay. Don't let that be the reason that you don't come and have this incredible experience with us and create this habit of deep work in a beautiful place together. And then the last thing is the giveaway. So we're going to be giving away 5 of these mats, and I'm just going to grab something. So I don't know if you guys know this, but you are all psychic, and I'm going to prove it that you guys are psychic. You might have done this if you've been to a Zoom before, but we're going to prove that you're psychic because I'm actually holding different objects in my hands, and you are going to use your heart to connect to me intuitively, psychically, and let me know what the objects are that I'm holding in my hands. And the first people to guess correctly are going to win the Bagby mat. Okay? You ready? Any questions? Okay. All right. So I have an item in my hand. It is an animal. What animal am I holding in my hands? Feel free to unmute yourself. Say it out loud.
Oh, a giraffe.
A jaguar.
An elephant.
Keep guessing. You can guess multiple times. Keep guessing until you get it right.
A bird.
A turtle.
What kind of bird?
A
Cockatoo.
like a beach kind of bird.
Pelican.
Like a pelican.
A pelican.
Yeah.
Parrot.
Seagull.
A
What kind of
hummingbird.
beach bird?
An osprey.
A seagull.
Very
Flying
close.
fish.
Like a you know.
Give us a hint. Like, what part of the world do they live in?
Seabird.
You might find one on a lake, perhaps.
A
Okay.
loon.
A
Swan.
duck.
A loon.
Okay,
A
loon
duck.
is as close as we're gonna get. It was
Oh.
a duck
Mallard.
or a loon. Who said loon or duck
Mallard.
first?
I said loon.
Michael wins. Let's give it up for Michael.
Woo!
Michael wins the first distraction-free mat. Okay, cool. I have a second object in my hand, and this is this object is a specific color. And so the first person to guess correctly what color this object is wins the second giveaway.
Red.
So,
Can I still play?
Yellow.
Aqua.
who said yellow? Coulter, these yellow flowers. You win. These flowers are for you. Congratulations. Let's give it up for Coulter. That was immediate. Boom. Your psychic senses are strong.
Telekinesis
Okay.
is strong with this
Did
one.
somebody ask a question?
Watch out, Mike.
You're reading my mind already.
Did anybody ask did somebody say anything? Okay. I am missing an object that I've got. All right. I am holding something else in my hand, and it is an object for a certain type of sport. What's the sport?
Lacrosse.
Like a
Tennis.
canoe.
Canoe?
Mm-hmm. Like a paddle.
Oh. Good guess.
A racket.
Surfing.
Oh, that's a great call. I am just holding objects that
Golf.
are relevant to where I am in Ohio here. Keep guessing.
Tennis ball.
Oh,
For sure.
a mitt.
Pickleball.
Any
Ping
other
pong.
guesses?
Fishing. I know
A
fishing.
football.
Okay.
Football.
Football. It's a
Um,
football. Who was that? CJ? Yay, CJ won. Okay, amazing. All right, so we have Coulter won, Michael won, CJ won, and we only have 2 people left. So I'm gonna give the next 2. Well, actually, no. Should we keep playing? I just want to be careful of the time. Let me for a second. Okay, we got people dropping off because they're very important. Okay, I've got one last sport. Give me another sport holding in my hand.
Cricket.
Fishing.
Baseball.
Curling.
Baseball. Who said baseball? Tie. There we go. Wow, I knew you were going to win. I wanted you to win. Amazing. All right, let's give it up for Ty. Awesome. So I think we now have everybody win. Amber, I'm going to gift you the final one because I'm so thankful for you to help us out last minute here and all the technical
Oh,
issues.
thank you.
So that is our session. Super excited for this trip. Obviously, ask me any questions and I will see you all in Oaxaca. And thank you so much, Mark, for joining us.